Bring your own guitar, old buddy. Bring your old guitar. We'll talk and drink and laugh and sing, but bring your own guitar.
So you're making a new album.
I'm making a new album. It's called American Songwriter, and it's going to be a collection of a lot of new material, and then it's just some songs that people have just requested for years and years and years that I've played live, and it's going to be like a 20-song CD with what I think are some of my best story songs that I've written throughout the years.
So is that why I don't hear from you anymore? Because you're so immersed?
I've been immersed in writing new stuff, gathering old stuff, putting musicians together for this recording session that's going to come up in about a month, and just preparing and trying to figure out how I want to produce each one and how I want to make them sound sonically.
So I know People Up There. Would that
Yes.
be on a new album?
It's going to be a new version on a new album. On this new album, as well as a lot of new stuff I've written, and then just a lot of fan favorites that I have played over the years. That a couple that have been hits for other artists, but a lot that people just know me by that have come
Give me an example of like one of those.
There's a song called 20 Years Ago that I wrote for a group called Montgomery Gentry. I still get requested. It's a 20-year-old song now, but I still get requested that song. It's a song about my dad and my brother. The last time they talked to each other. Before my dad passed away.
Any of the wide variety of songs that I've helped you write, will any of those be on the album?
The last 6 that we wrote will be recorded.
Oh, good. So I can expect to. Anyway, that's what we do on this show. We joke, we laugh, we update each other on each other's lives. Although Jeffrey has no interest in my life. But that's why we bring.
Do.
Yes, he does. But that's why we bring guests on, because they have interesting stories. So welcome to BYOG. Today, Jeffrey and I are joined by a huge television star.
Yeah.
Former sex symbol. And I use the
going.
word former in all capital letters here. One of the original stars, you remember Real World on MTV?
Absolutely.
One of the original stars of Real World, from Real World 2, Jon Brennan, who was just a little country boy, how many ever years ago that was, and now has moved to Nashville and is trying to become a big country music star and legend. Jon Brennan, welcome to BYOG.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here.
It's awesome to have you. And so... do we start in the past, or we start with what you're doing now? Let's start with what you're doing now. What are you doing now?
Yeah, so I'm making music. I've got a brand new song that's not out yet. Music video, lyric video, radio edit version of a song called "Tell Me That There Ain't a God." Super excited about that.
Love the title already.
Yeah, I know.
It's a killer song. Yeah, Tim McGraw had it on hold for several albums, and then they finally said, we're not going to end up cutting this, so it became available.
I want to know why.
Yeah.
Why did he say no? Why did he drop the song?
I don't know. Maybe it had kind of a theme like "Live Like You Were Dying," and they didn't need
Too
another
close
smash
to what?
hit like that.
Yeah, they don't need another one. I've heard that a lot throughout my career. We're not recording those songs that you write anymore. I said, wait, what do you mean multi-platinum hits?
Yeah, right.
That's a terrible phone call to get when you're a songwriter.
Well, hold on. You guys are music insiders, and you're maybe talking a little bit above my head. Walk me through this. Tim McGraw, there's some song that he's really walking away from, or that was written for him.
Yeah.
So
Greg Barnhill was one of the co-writers. You probably know Greg. Yeah, it's a Greg Barnhill song.
Great friends.
Yeah, so fantastic songwriter, wrote big hits. Walk Away Joe for Tricia Yearwood. Don Henley, written songs for Amy Grant and Vince Gill, House of Love, written a lot of hits.
Love, yeah.
Like a Jeffrey Steele type magnificent songwriter. Okay, and so Tim McGraw got a hold of it and said, I love that song. Don't let anybody else cut it, which is what they do. They, artists, they get the songs and they stack them up and they go, okay, well.
And they tell you they want to hold it. Don't play it for anybody. Don't play for any other artist. I'm going to record it. That's kind of your handshake.
Yeah.
And so that's
guarantee that we're going to record your song.
Is that just like looking at the lyrics and they say that?
Or they hear your demo tape and they go, wow, I like this song. I really want to record it.
So how long ago did Tim McGraw?
I think several albums. He had it on hold, nobody was listening to it. Nobody was touching it. Songwriters and publishers, had stopped playing it for other people because they were hoping Tim McGraw was going to have a big smash. And so for whatever reason, they just said, no, not this album. No, not this album. And then it just became available. And one day my manager played it for me in his office and said, I want to play you a song that I think fits you. And when I heard the song, I thought that song was written for me to sing because I've had this conversation dozens of times.
Yeah.
It's about two men sitting on an airplane, and one, they're, being friendly, chatting it up, and the guy says, hey, man, there's no God. And the rest of the song is the unfolding of that conversation where, the one guy just says, dude, look around. Everywhere you look, there's a God. And it makes the skeptic start to think. And it's just the melody's fantastic. The lyrics are just genius. And it's a song that I think really was written for me to sing. And so I'm glad Tim McGraw didn't cut it.
Well, let's remove Tim McGraw from this aspect of the conversation.
Yeah, I hope he never hears that song.
But no, I want to understand. Why would a major star potentially, or you guys might be afraid of a song like this?
Well, and the one other thing is that you're left hanging on a nail as a songwriter because you've written the song and you've kind of committed to this artist, so you're not playing it for anybody else. You're kind of honoring.
Paid, though?
No, and you're honoring the ethic of it, which you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So when they go on and on and on, they don't record it. It's really frustrating.
Check out the BYOG Bring Your Own Guitar YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button. Jeffrey Steele and I are teaming up to host musical guests for some wild interviews and performances you gotta see.
Bring your own guitar.
But to your question, which remind me of the question again.
Is there a reason why a major star, and we're not talking about Tim McGraw,
Yeah.
would be afraid or wouldn't want to do a song like that?
It might sound like you said. It might sound similar to another massive hit that he's had, or even another thing that he may have recorded. But on the other side of that, he recorded a song called "Shotgun Rider" on one of his records years ago, which was a second Shotgun Rider song title one of them was mine. And then he recorded another one. So it makes no sense sometimes what they do. They kind of dangle it. But it's usually that they don't want to be too close to maybe something else that they've had. That's usually the biggest fear. But that's also one of the things that kind of staples you as an artist, a certain type of song that you're known for. So it's hard. The argument's very strange, right?
And who knows what a label is going to decide to do one week, and then they might decide something else the next week. It depends on the trends that radio's playing that particular
and we're
month.
looking at that too. So like I can give you a million examples. I had a song on hold for Faith Hill. It was What Hurts the Most. It was What Hurts the Most.
That was for Faith Hill?
For Faith Hill. She actually recorded the song, and then later that year, she heard a song called Redneck Woman by Gretchen Wilson, and dropped my song and wanted a song that sounded like Gretchen Wilson's song. So that's another example of.
It sounds like she made a mistake.
It really does.
She did. I think she did.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how you know.
But then, can you picture anybody else besides Rascal Flatts singing that now? No.
Yeah. Now it doesn't make sense to hear
Right.
anybody else do it. And but to your point, it's good for you that it kind of fell that way, and now you've got an opportunity to put it out yourself.
It was great. And I mean, I feel like that song was written for me. I've had that conversation.
Yeah.
Growing up in church, growing up in faith, people all the time ask me, man, I just don't feel God like you feel God. I'm like, man, it's all around, your eyeball, childbirth, oxygen in the air, come on, everywhere. And so I've had that conversation a billion times. I've been in youth ministry. I've led music at church. So, this faith conversation has come up for me a lot in life. And so when I heard the casual conversation of this song, I really felt like,
You connected.
man, I connected. I
Yeah.
said, McGraw would have done a great job on it, but that song was written for me.
And one more to your question. That's another thing. They might not want to go that far, talking about their faith.
That's what we're not going to
and
mention Tim
bless you
McGraw.
for that, because
Yeah.
But it feels like to me, let's take my Christian tinfoil hat on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, is it too religious for some record labels? They don't, there's always a complaint. Hey, people don't like to mention Jesus. They like to.
Yeah.
Is that potentially part of the risk? And then I got another follow-up question to that. But
I think it is a risk. Anytime you talk about the Lord, it makes people a little uneasy. Oh, that's not politically correct. I'm like, you know what? There are no rules on this planet anymore. We get, they're discussed. I mean, political correctness. Talk about what you want to talk about. I mean, people like me, I think we got to start being bold and saying, hey, look, we're so offended by the other direction that we're having forced down our throat. Let's get a little faith talk in the conversation.
And here would be the second part of my conversation. I know I apologize up front to the audience, and I know because you see these new country music fans like me, we become groupies for certain artists that are super popular. But and I have become a Morgan Wallen groupie. I'm just going to admit it. He keeps slipping little religious things into his songs, and I keep saying I love it. I mean, he's got this song Revelation that I've been listening to. It's like amazing, but I hear it all these little places. And so it seems like you can get so popular that you can kind of do what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway.
Well, I haven't reached that level of popularity, but people remember me from, 32 years ago.
Yes.
When there was an 18-year-old kid.
I do. Yeah.
And, I had this cowboy hat on. It was the height of Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson, right? And so, and they cast me onto MTV Real World because I was a country music singer, 18 years old, from Kentucky, no one's ever heard of. Mm-hmm. So that was the storyline. They quickly realized, oh my goodness, like his roommate's having an abortion and he's going to talk about faith and he's going to talk, I brought in a lot of my upbringing right away. And then the story stopped being about this country singing kid from Kentucky. And TV Guide, you remember TV Guide?
Yeah.
Called me a prudish Bible thumping Christian cowboy. And I thought, I think they mean to be offensive, but I'm actually a little flattered by that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. the storyline quickly changed. They expected faith conversations from me. And, the world kind of still does.
All right. Tiny bit ahead of ourselves, but I'm going to go there now. I don't remember you. And I watched that season, and I watched the early seasons of Real World. I think I went with their narrative and forgot that you wanted to be a country music singer. And so at 18, and that's 32 years ago, what's been going on the last 32? Have you cut records in the past or because you got some new music coming out now?
Right.
You brought anyway, what's been going on with your music?
So much. There's so much that has happened. Immediately after the Real World, I left Los Angeles, came back to Nashville because they found me at Belmont. So I was at Belmont University halfway into my first semester of college. Left to do the Real World. Didn't even apply for it. That was another God thing.
Well, yeah, hold on. You didn't apply.
No,
they found you.
So 1992. Down at the old convention center. I don't even know what's there now. I don't even know I don't know what's built. What building is there now?
Maybe the new convention center is kind of, and then a kind of open air shopping area now.
They were shooting a show for NBC called The Countdown at the Neon Armadillo. Well, there was no Neon Armadillo, but it was the best country songs of the year. So you're talking about Clint Black, Steve Wariner, Garth Brooks. They were all there recording their current hit for this NBC primetime special. They called it The Countdown at the Neon Armadillo. And they needed, 200 people to come make it look like there was 2,000 people. Yeah. So they put the word out to Belmont, and all my friends are like, let's go. Garth Brooks is singing. Everybody's singing. Brooks and Dunn's going to be there. And I'm like, that sounds awesome. So we stood there for hours, and television tapings are long and drawn out, and they're giving away CDs, right? I got the first Tim McGraw single on CD.
Oh, gosh.
A single.
Yeah.
And, they're giving away stuff just to keep people there and keep them interested and keep them hyped. And so the MC that was just there for the crowd during one of the long changeover breaks of the production is like, hey, who's here as a singer? And there's like everybody there's a singer.
Town.
Yeah. So, and I'm standing there. You sing, young man? I'm like, yeah, I sing. I'm dressed like this. And so, well, sing us a song. And I sang something a cappella. I can't even remember what it was. A verse and a chorus, or just a chorus of something a cappella. And of course, the little crowd was like, woo, give him a CD, you're really good. And so somebody walked up to me and said, hey, I'm working on the production of this show, wearing all black, NBC cap, all whatever. I said, oh, that's awesome, man, I'm having a good time. When's Garth getting here? And they said, well, would you be interested in applying for this this show on MTV? I said, no.
You just said no.
I just said
out?
no.
Wow.
And he said, well, let me tell you about it. We just did this in New York, and we take 7 very diverse young people, and they live in this loft in New York, and we put it on MTV, and, you know, thinking that's going to be really impressive to a young person, because MTV was cooler than TikTok at the time, right? Sure. And I just blew it off. I'm like, dude, I'm not an actor. I'm a singer. He's like, no, this isn't scripted. This is just real life. I'm like, what do you mean it's real life? There's no script.
Nobody even heard of that at the time.
No.
Nobody knew what that was.
It had not been coined yet.
Yeah.
Reality TV was not a thing. It wasn't named. So he said, yeah, so, I mean, we're going to do this one in Los Angeles. But would you fill this out? I said, no, I'm not. I'm sitting at Belmont University.
What kid doesn't want to be famous?
Dude.
They offer you a chance of being famous.
No, he hadn't even mentioned that yet.
Oh.
No, and he said,
But what did you just figured it wasn't the music
I just figured
thing,
it was some stupid MTV show. And I thought, you know, they're always doing crazy things.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at the end of Music Row at Belmont University wanting to be in an internship program at a publishing company or a record company. I'm not leaving Nashville. This is my dream. And he said, well, if my producer calls you, will you talk to her? I said, yeah. Mm-hmm. So she's this big-time soap opera producer. Mm-hmm. She's since passed away. Her name is Mary Ellis Bunham. She's the co-creator of reality TV. Mm-hmm. And MTV had wanted to do a real life, a soap opera, a scripted soap opera, and they didn't have the funding, so they came up with, she and John Murray came up with this idea to do an unscripted real life soap opera with young, diverse people. And they wanted a country singer because of the popularity of country music at the time, 1992, okay?
Sure.
So I didn't have a cell phone until 1999. My phone rings in my dorm room. I still don't know how they got my number. I guess I'd given it to the guy just to shake him. And she said, hey, if I fly to Nashville, would you let me buy you lunch? I'm thinking, I'll let you buy me lunch. Yeah. So she buys me lunch, and she said, you know, she's just getting to know me, and she talks to me about politics, and she gets to know all about my faith, and she's just really intrigued. And she said, I'd like to put you on this show. And I said, and I'd like to stay here in Nashville. And she said, well, have you ever thought about how this exposure would really help your singing career? Mm-hmm. And I started thinking,
Cast the hook out.
Yeah. She said, John, you're gonna be famous when this is over. I said, well, I've never seen the first show. She said, it's really popular. So long story short, I called my mom and dad and I said, hey, you know that really expensive college you got me into and second mortgage the house for? Yeah, I'd like to drop out and I'm gonna move to Los Angeles to be in the circus. Wow. And yes, Mom, that channel you had blocked. Dad, is Mom still there? Can you pick Mom up off?
Hello.
So it was, but my mom and dad grew up without a lot of opportunities, so they saw it as an opportunity for me and gave me their blessing. And you know, there I went to be on MTV in Los Angeles on a network that I had blocked in my house.
Wow.
So I got back to Nashville the day the first episode aired.
Hold for a second. I want to go back to
Yeah.
what was it? How long were you in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
How long was that process? Did you enjoy that process as opposed to what you saw getting aired on TV?
I mean, we didn't get to see what was being aired until it was over.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'd have gone crazy. But, I mean, a little side note, what they did is they flew 2 of my roommates to Nashville. They met on the curb at the Nashville airport and got in a Winnebago. And we drove to Los Angeles. And that 10-day trip of the 3 of us driving from my house in Owensboro, Kentucky to Los Angeles is what sparked the whole spinoff season, Road Rules.
Wow.
Yep.
There you go.
And so that's kind of crazy.
There you go.
And so 22 weeks in Los Angeles. And when I say Los Angeles.
Did they film your drive or was it just?
Oh, they filmed the drive.
Yeah,
that was the first 2 episodes.
That was the first episode.
That's when they said, this is incredible. We need a whole nother show on this.
Yeah.
So Road Rules was, you know. And then 22 weeks in a house in Venice Beach, California. So not just Los Angeles, but Venice Beach.
I remember that.
We're 30 feet from the sand, on where they filmed White Men Can't Jump, the famous basketball courts.
Yeah.
I'm walking on the boardwalk every day. And what they really didn't tell is all of my roommates, they weren't from Los Angeles, but they lived in Los Angeles. I was the only one that didn't have a car, another apartment to sneak away to, jobs, friends. They were 24 years old. I was 18 years old. It was just crazy. We had the first lesbian to ever be on television. Before Ellen, there was my roommate that was an open lesbian on TV. Huh. And, my roommate Tammy had
Isn't
an
that
abortion.
an actor? A thespian, did you say?
No, yeah, thespian. No, and Tammy ended up getting pregnant and having an abortion on television, documented on television. None of that stuff. I mean, they do that stuff now, but in 1992,
Little
they didn't
precursors of the future.
Yeah. They were planting seeds. They were planting seeds.
And so I'm 18 years old. And they're thinking, this kid's gonna go off the rails. He's gonna start partying. He's gonna start, doing whatever. And I was pretty grounded. I mean, I'm pretty stubborn. And that's what I think they saw in me that they really wanted me is, number one, he's not interested in being on the show, so that makes him pretty authentic.
Yeah.
He's a little bit stubborn and set in his ways and thinks he knows everything, which I did and still to kind of do, but I was pretty grounded in my faith and pretty grounded in Southern upbringing. And, mom and dad were in the picture. Mom and dad were home. We went to church every week. Right. I didn't cause a lot of chaos when I was growing up. I was a pretty good kid. And all that really came out on The Real World. And it stopped being about Jon's pursuit of country music. And it stared being about, okay, well, what's straight-laced Jon going to think about Tammy's abortion?
You became that voice.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I felt like, okay, they're setting me up. Because literally, I remember the day they pointed the camera at me during an interview and said, okay, Jon, what do you think about Tammy's decision to have an abortion? And I thought, oh, this is a total setup.
Wow.
And I just said, I love Tammy. That's my sister now. That's my roommate. That's my friend. And I don't support that decision. I'm against that decision, but I love her. And she's also going to need me to love her through this horrible thing she's going to go through. And that was not the answer they expected or wanted. They wanted, oh, here's that Christian Jon being a hateful jerk. And I didn't really feel that way, and I didn't give him that. But
so was what they put on air?
Yeah.
Was it accurate to what you actually experienced?
It was. I get that question a lot, and not all of my roommates are very proud of everything that they said and did. And there were things I would love to go and take out.
Sure.
But by and large, I can say the times we looked good, it was accurate. And the times we looked bad was also accurate. I mean, they really showed
they got
the
truth
reality
of it.
Yeah. Now, that was the highlights. So they didn't show every single background clip they could have. But in a 22-minute episode, it was accurate.
Huh. So how did that... It was you go and thinking, hey, this is a good way to build publicity towards my singing career.
Right.
Did it help? Was that accurate?
Well, that jury's still out. I don't know if I'll ever know the answer to that question, because when I came back to Nashville, I literally went on a mission trip with my church to Puerto Rico. We hiked into a rainforest, and we got into a waterfall in the rainforest. Okay, stripped down to my bathing suit. Everybody's in their bathing suits, and I'm standing in a waterfall in a rainforest in Puerto Rico, and somebody up the hill goes, oh my God, it's the guy from The Real World. It's the cowboy from The Real World. And I'm going, this is not real life. Are you serious right now? And I realized right at that moment that I was extremely recognizable.
Wow.
And that stayed that way for about 10 years, to be honest, because there was times where they would show all 22 episodes back to back on MTV. They would start at 9 in the morning, and they would show every episode. They called it a marathon. And every Saturday, I was on MTV, which was the thing to watch, all day long. And so there's a clip of Beavis and Butthead watching TV, and they show me with my cowboy hat and the Real World logo at the bottom. And this show sucks. And they changed the channel. Saturday Night Live spoofed us. They did a whole skit on the Real World. And David Spade played me, and Mike Myers played my roommate Dominic. And I mean, SNL is spoofing us. And then I don't know if you remember, they had the.
I remember how they spoofed.
Yeah. And then they did like Celebrity Deathmatch. You remember the little claymation?
Oh yeah, that was my favorite.
Like they had George Clinton against Hillary Clinton, and they had
that was one of my favorite bits.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite.
So
bits.
I was on Beavis and Butthead, SNL, and Celebrity Deathmatch.
And you think about it, there was no YouTube to go to back then.
No,
it was. And MTV was the coolest network to watch.
It was so cool.
Right. What else did you watch
Nothing.
if you didn't watch?
If you were a kid, nothing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was really famous for the 90s.
Yeah.
And so I came back here, and Capitol Records signed me. I had a record deal. I was
in Nashville?
Here in Nashville. Yeah. I was opening for Alabama, George Jones,
Garth Brooks' label,
Tim
right?
McGraw. Garth was on that label. But I met Tim McGraw at the Longhorn down on Music Row, and I'm staring at him because I love him. And he wasn't famous yet. It was before Indian Outlaw, before Don't Take the Girl. But I liked his first album. Nobody heard it. And so he walks in, I'm staring at him. And he, notices I'm staring at him. And this goes on for about 2 minutes. And finally he just goes, and I'm like, okay, he's probably going to be a jerk and say, quit looking at me, dude. And he said, hey, sit down for a minute. I said, okay. He said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He said, did I see you on MTV? And I said, yes, you did. I have your album, and I'm a big fan. He goes, oh, you were the one. And so, the celebrities that watch the show is crazy.
Oh, the show was massive.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's watching. Kim Kardashian said, when I saw The Real World, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. So you're welcome, America.
Yeah. You started it all.
Yeah. And then the record label literally said this to me. I won't tell you his name, but literally said, hey, we don't know how to make a reality star into a country music star. And I said, I'm a country music singer. That's why I chose to be on The Real World in the first place. And we just don't know how to cross that bridge. We just don't know how to captivate on this for you.
See, you needed to have the TikTok social media.
There was none of that.
Didn't have none of that back then. Didn't even have MySpace.
This
then,
is 1994, right? And there was no MySpace.
Yeah,
the internet was new.
Yeah,
the internet was new.
Yeah,
and so they signed Trace Adkins, and they dropped me off the label, and I can't listen to Honky Tonk Badonkadonk even to this day.
Don't forget to check out and hit that subscribe button for the BYOG Bring Your Own Guitar YouTube channel. Jeffrey Steele and I are hosting awesome musical guests with one-of-a-kind interviews and performances. Trust me, you're going to love it.
Bring your own guitar.
What do they mean, though, by that? What do they mean, Jeff, when they...
What?
1994, and they're saying they don't know how to make a so-and-so into a country music star?
Well, it was pretty... The genres were pretty regimented in terms of what a country star was or what a rock and roll star was, what a TV star was, what a comic was. There wasn't all this like cross hibernation as much of entertainers, doing different sort of roles, or like, how do you spin this guy? He really wants to be a country singer. How are we going to make this spin? Now it's like no big deal because you got all these outlets. You have all these social media formats, and everybody can put their brand together and sell their brand, as opposed to having to say, I'm this, but I'm also this. They can just kind of build a package that's
some simpleton like me would just like, well, just let him write good music and sing good music and promote
just
that.
give him the opportunity.
That makes so much sense now.
And forgive me for not remembering, but it's been a long time. But my kids watched the show like it was their favorite show. My oldest kids. But did they ever give you the opportunity to sing on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
when I met Ronnie Dunn, I ran into him. He goes, hey, you sang Boot Scootin' Boogie on MTV. I said, yes, I did. That's why the song's so popular. And he didn't laugh as hard as you're laughing. But I sang Boot Scootin' Boogie. I sang Here in the Real World because I thought that was snarky to sing Here in the Real World.
Here in the Real.
Yeah.
Alan Jackson. Right?
Yeah.
Alan Jackson.
Because I'm on a show called The Real World. Why wouldn't you sing Here in the Real World? And so they just didn't get it. Now it makes perfect sense. Oh, Morgan Wallen, you were on The Voice. America knows your face, your name, and your voice.
That was pre Simon Cowell. What's the show?
American Idol.
American Idol. But it was pre all of that, all of those shows too, where suddenly there was this vehicle where they could build these things off of TV.
They get it now.
And the internet wasn't rolling.
No,
it wasn't, not even a thing.
No,
it was still Bryant Gumbel, and what was that girl's name? The other one, Katie
Couric.
Katie Couric. It was. Remember them going, there's this thing called the internet.
Yeah.
and there's an email address. There's like an A with a circle around it.
You have to put a circle, and you have to put a slash.
And they're trying to figure out
HTTP and.
Yeah, what year was that? That
was early 90s, right?
It was later 90s.
I remember actually seeing that on TV and going, what are they talking about?
It's crazy. Now. We didn't have any of that. If we'd have had social media in the 90s when I was on The Real World,
been a different animal,
I would have had 15 million followers.
You've been retired by now and just on some island.
So crazy.
You get dropped in 94, then what?
And so then honestly, I was a little high on my horse thinking I had the world by the tail. And I thought, well, that happened pretty easily, honestly. I was on the Real World. I came to Nashville. At the time, I had a manager that was managing Winona Judd and was responsible for the
that was
Ken Stilts.
That's Ken
and
Stilts.
I thought, hey, I'm riding around on his Silver Eagle opening for Alabama. I've got a ticket that says New York State Fair, Alabama, featuring MTV's Jon Brennan. Just the two of us, nobody in between. And I'm thinking, listen, I've got the world by the tail. And and I thought, okay, so one label doesn't want me, I'll go get another one.
Yeah.
And it never happened. Everybody was like, we don't know what you are. I'm like, dude, I was on MTV's The Real World. I'm a little bit famous, and by the way, I'm a great singer. And they're like, we don't know what to do with you. So no one touched me. And I ended up going back to Owensboro, Kentucky, and starting a church. I had a friend of mine said, hey, I'm being called to preach, but specifically to start a church, and I need you to lead some music for me. And I said, okay, well, I'll do that for about 6 weeks because I'm going back to Nashville and regroup on my music career.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up being the youth pastor and the music leader in that church for 5 years. And then Birmingham, Alabama, in a similar role, Tampa Bay, Florida, back to Alabama, spent 8 years in and out of East Africa doing mission work. Mm-hmm. And then my dad got sick with cancer, and he passed away 6 years ago. But that was during the time frame I said, it's time for me to get back on the same continent with my dad and see if he's going to live through this or not. And then we buried him, and I said, now what? I sang country music because my dad loved country music. My dad loved Willie and Waylon. And
similar story for me.
Yeah.
My dad was my driving force, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. One day I'm checking my Instagram messages, and Shooter Jennings, blue check mark, sends me a message and says, dude, I'm a big fan of you on the show. Are you going to be on this reunion and that reunion? And I didn't even answer his question. I'm like, is this Shooter Jennings? He said, yeah, but I'm a big fan of you. I'm like, dude, I live in Alabama. I'm coming to Nashville. We're going to hang out. Because you don't know this, but I sang country music because my father loved your father. He said, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't live in Nashville. I live in L.A. now. I'm like, well, I'll never see you again. But but he became a good friend. Like Shooter Jennings has become a good friend to the point where when they called me to do a reunion for The Real World on Paramount Plus 3 years ago, I didn't want to fly with my guitar. So I texted him. I'm like, you got a guitar I can use for this reunion because I want to sing? And he said, yeah, you can borrow my dad's Gibson Hummingbird. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
He gave me his dad's Gibson Hummingbird for a week to play on the reunion. So
wow,
he's become it's just weird how many people watch our show. And so, but yeah. And so I did ministry. I'm an ordained pastor. So when I hear a song like Tell Me That There Ain't a God, it resonates. And I'm like, this world's gone crazy. And I think it's time for country people to start talking about country things again. And faith is a big part of that.
All right, I want to stay a little bit more in this super famous. Seriously, just because Jeffrey can relate, I can relate. When you're first dealing with fame and you're dealing with it young, 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
You never got lost in the sauce. You never
Yeah.
Oh,
I turned borderline cocky. Oops. I mean, I had a record deal. I was on Garth Brooks' label. I'm driving around in Winona's bus. Okay, I'm opening for Alabama. I thought I'm famous. Everywhere I go, people are asking me for my autograph. It would be like, if the Kardashians walked in this room, it'd be like, oh my gosh, there's an icon of television that just entered this restaurant or place. And that wore off as they made more and more Real Worlds. And
more shows too, more reality shows.
More reality shows.
It became a thing. It became all the programming.
And just more shows in general.
Yeah.
You got to, me and Jeff are old enough, and you are too. I grew up, there were 3 TV channels. Yes. And they cut off at midnight.
No remote.
You got the test pattern.
Yeah, the test pattern until 6 a.m. And even during the Real World days, there were still only, let's say, 8 networks that kind of really mattered.
Yeah.
Now we're at this time where every network has a hit TV show and there's just more and more celebrities. But you were a celebrity back when being a celebrity was far more significant. And so, again, I heard you say cocky and arrogant, but generally these stories involve liquor, drugs, strippers, and all that. That didn't hit you?
That didn't. I'll tell you why. Okay, I'm about to get real churchy with you.
Yeah.
I got saved when I was 5 years old. 5 years old, my mom and dad took me to church. We were living in Phoenix because my father was an FBI agent. Mm-hmm. So my mom and dad, both from Louisville, Kentucky. I was born in Wisconsin. My sister born in Phoenix. We lived for 3 years in Baltimore and then back to Kentucky. So I say I'm from Kentucky because I went to high school there, but I've lived in 8 different states. Yeah. And so I remember being 5 years old in Phoenix, Arizona, going to children's church, you know, when they take you out of big church and they let you color.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And somebody told me about the Lord. And I said, well, I want Jesus in my heart. You told me I could have Jesus in my heart. So my mom came to pick me up from big church. And I said, Mom, I want Jesus in my heart. And Mom said, well, Jonathan, you're a little young for that decision. And I must have thrown some kind of fit. Okay, so I got saved and baptized when I was 5. I don't remember what it was like to not believe in Christ. I don't remember what my mom and dad never had the conversation. Honey, think we'll go to church tomorrow? I mean, if you didn't have strep throat or you weren't barfing, we were going to church. Yeah. And so that's who I was. I was really kind of stubborn in that upbringing and really grounded. And it wasn't my parents' faith, it was mine. And I had been discipled very well in that. And so, you know, when that's why my parents were so comfortable saying, go to Los Angeles, be on MTV. Yeah, we believe in you. We know who you are, and I honestly never fell off the wagon like that. I even to this day I don't drink alcohol. I don't like the taste. I also think it looks like urine, so I don't drink. I'm not tempted at all. I have other temptations, but it's not that. And so, yeah, I mean, I never really. I've never tried drugs. I don't want to like it. I don't want to try it, and you know. That people call that green and naive, but it's pretty good life, not having that issue.
Nothing wrong with it.
No, it's great. I have friends that have those issues, and they're like, man, I wish I had completely stayed away from that. But I was stubborn in those, and so by the time fame hit, and I was getting to do things that I wanted to do, I'm a Big Boy Howdy fan. I'm opening for Diamond Rio. I'm doing these things, and I'm thinking, any minute, I'm going to get another label snatch me up and captivate on this fame, and we're going to sell 1 million records, and then I'm going to be famous for what I want to do. And that just never happened until, you know, I remember the day that the Cyrus from, I don't know if you remember Cyrus from the Boston show of The Real World, we became good friends, and he lives in L.A., and he said, he called me. I actually talked to him on 9/11. It was the weirdest thing ever. But he called me, and he said, John, you're not going to believe what they're getting ready to do. I said, what? He said, they're putting people on an island, and whoever lasts the longest on this island gets $1 million. I'm like, really? That pales in comparison to the $6,000 we got for 22 weeks in Venice Beach. And so I mean, there was no Survivor, and then came Big Brother, and all of these, you know, Love Islands, all of these things. And we're sitting there going, yeah, we've been doing that for 12 years on The Real World, but now the major networks and the big money, and then they started lumping in talent shows, and you got American Idol, and you got The Voice. The Voice is, you know, huge. And I'm going, okay, well, I mean, that's Star Search resurrected, right?
Absolutely.
But now everybody on there gets a record deal. And I'm thinking, no, wait a second. We don't give record deals to reality stars, remember? We established this long time ago.
Suddenly they had a mold.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking, hey, woohoo, this guy. And they're like, yeah, you're so 10 years ago. And I just, you know, when my father passed away, I literally was sitting in my shower serving at a small church in Alabama, and I was having a conversation with myself, and I said, man, you got to do so much, but The Real World and MTV's not really that cool anymore. That's long ago. Even if they call you back for a reunion, which they did, it's going to be on Paramount Plus, a whole different thing.
Right.
Country music has changed. You don't have anybody's number in Nashville anymore. Nobody knows your name. Nobody remembers you. And nobody at those labels works there anymore. It's a whole new regime. And I just said, well, I guess you're done. You're done singing, I guess. And I got really pissed with myself. And I said, no, you ain't done singing yet. You're not done. That's what you want to do. It's why you did the crazy reality things, why you took a chance on MTV in the first place. And so I texted Shooter Jennings, and I said, dude, I need to write a song called I Ain't Done Singing Yet. And he goes, okay, how are we going to do that? I said, well, when are you coming to Nashville? He said, I'm not. He said, but I got a friend that'll write a song with you. I said, really? He said, yeah. And he said, I'll get back to you. Called me back the next day. Okay, my friend Aaron's going to write this song with you. I said, great. Awesome. I didn't know Jeffrey Steele, but maybe I'll get to write a song with Jeffrey Steele one day. So I meet this guy. You probably know him. His name is Aaron Ray Tier. He's
Yeah.
from Danville, Kentucky. All right, so we hit it off. He brings his dog. We're playing guitar. I told him all about the idea for the song. And Shooter says, oh, yeah, by the way, Aaron's got a Grammy. I said, okay, awesome. Yeah. He said, yeah, he wrote a song with Lady Gaga for a movie called A Star is Born. I said, oh, really? So I'm sitting there in Aaron's office, and there's a Grammy sitting up on his shelf. And so we wrote a song called "I Ain't Done Singing Yet," and we put it out to radio. And I'm scratching and clawing to be back in the music business.
So that brought you back, though. That was kind of your walk back into.
Yep.
I'm not done with this yet.
I'm not done.
Yeah.
I mean, I deserve to keep on scratching and clawing. I've been here a long time.
Absolutely.
And I still enjoy it. I love country music. I love all things country.
And you got a great story, too.
It's a wild
Part of
story.
it's
a wild story.
Yeah.
How'd you start making it in country music? MTV?
I got to confess. Can I go into the confession booth?
Yeah.
Didn't they have that in the
Go
confession
ahead.
booth? And I'm sorry if this makes me sound gay, but I like the movie A Star is Born. I thought that was it was a fantastic.
Now, I'm a little older than you. So
Yeah, I remember the original.
I go back to the Chris Christopherson
Yeah.
and Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, didn't you know Chris Christopherson?
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah.
He gave you some advice. You told me.
you
Yeah,
never
yeah.
do it for the money.
Yes.
At the Palomino Club in North Hollywood, another LA story. And then I met him 25 years later, and I was a songwriter of the year, and he said, "Did you do it for the money?" And I said, "No, sir." And he just started laughing at me.
Did he remember? He remembered the conversation?
He did not remember.
You had to tell.
He was in the back of the bar drunk, and he didn't remember the conversation. He goes, "I don't even know who I was back then."
I'm sorry to be off on this tangent, but I really enjoyed that movie. Yeah. And I saw the other one years and years ago. But is the new one better than the old one?
My kids probably would say it is.
Yeah,
I don't think it is. You know, there was a black and white one too back in the the 40s. I think there was an original version. But it's the ultimate Star Ride story.
It's a great
One's
movie.
big, the other's big, and the whole thing.
It's a great movie. And so the reason, what song did he write for that? Do you know?
Was it the big love song? The big.
There was like 5 or 6 writers on it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't really know what show. I didn't see the movie, but it was.
Wow.
It's one of the big songs of the movie. Like
It's
they
made
won the
me
Grammy.
like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
And I've never liked Lady Gaga, but that movie did it for me.
It was the Grammy, if I'm not mistaken, something along the lines of best song of a major motion
Best original
picture.
song.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so
Yeah.
when did this you get reemerge?
Yeah.
When did what year? Put a year on that, and where you at now?
So in 2022, I started distributing my music through CDX Nashville, which is the largest. I mean, just a great distribution, especially for independent artists, but for all they distribute music for major artists, major labels, and independent artists. And I had a friend said, "You need to talk to Joe Kelly at CDX Nashville. He works with acts just like you." And so I talked to Joe Kelly, came and met with him, and he said, "Oh yeah, I ain't done singing yet. We'll put that out. That's great. Yeah. Let's finally captivate on this attention you used to have and see if people still remember." And we put it out, and it did okay. And then we did a follow-up song that I wrote called True Story, and it did real well on Positive Country Music, which is kind of AKA Christian country music. Mm-hmm. It was #1 for 3 weeks, and so that's a small genre, but I thought, that's a good starting point for me.
That's a good confidence builder for you, knowing that
Yeah.
You're coming back in, and you got something to say, and
I get to put music out.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
Joe became my best friend, and I said, "Hey, Joe, while I'm here working in music, I also need a job." So he hired me. And so I'm doing radio promotion, and I'm a sales rep trying to help other artists to find out how, to put their music out too and get it out there. Because I didn't know how to put my song. I asked Shooter Jennings. I said, "Dude, I've got some songs, and I don't even know how to get it on Spotify." He said, "Oh, that's easy. We'll call one of these, anybody can put their music on Spotify." I didn't know where to start. When I was driving here today, I was talking to an artist that's written a great song, and I said, "Are you on BMI or ASCAP?" He goes, "Hey, can you tell me what that is?" And I thought, well, that's really important because you've written a great song that people are going to love. but I also remember being you and not knowing what BMI and ASCAP was.
Sure.
And so, it's a learning. It's relearning the business. The business has also changed so much. The music has changed. But, here I am trying to be a singer.
Love it.
And so this next single, this song from Tim McGraw, that you're hoping is going to be...
Jason, it's a stop you in your tracks song. If you heard it driving down I-40, you would turn off the phone, you would get off the phone, you would crank it up and go, that song just hit me. Like, that song's making me think. And the melody's just beautiful. It's what I first fell in love with was the melody, but the lyrics make you go, what? And it's not offensive, because I've been accused of being, you're a little too preachy, man. Can you back off?
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's one of those songs that in a non-offensive way makes you go, man, that made me think about it differently.
Kind of saying it without saying it a little bit.
Nice. People want to be talked to nice.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be beat up with a Bible. And that's who I used to be.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but are you singing that for us today?
We're singing it, man.
Oh, okay,
let's
good.
go.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it, man. If it's that great, let's hear it.
All right.
Can't wait.
Tell me that there ain't a God. I was sitting next to a guy on a plane flying back from LA. We were having ourselves the usual conversation. When he saw my book and said out of the blue, he said, there ain't no God, and that's the truth. See, my sister died while my mom and dad were praying. And all this talk about Jesus saves and eternal life beyond the grave, well, to me, that's just a bunch of bad religion. And he said, I ain't never seen no miracles. And I said, yes, you have. There's a million in this world, like the way your heart beats in your chest. You take one breath and then the next, and this big blue ball spins in the sky. There's a reason that we all don't fly right off of it. And you can't see love, but you feel it. And the fact we're here at 30,000 feet, and we don't up and drop. Tell me that there ain't a God. I said, I might look like some religious guy, but there's more to me than meets the eye. There's some things about me you ought to be knowing. You see, I battle with demons and I still fight, and I even almost took my own life, but someone saved me from the hell where I was going. So if you don't believe in amazing grace, there's a miracle right next to you, sitting in 3A. Can't you feel your heartbeat in your chest? You take one breath and then the next, and this big blue ball spins in the sky. There's a reason that we all don't fly right off of it. And you can't see love, but you feel it. And the fact we're here at 30,000 feet, having this talk. Tell me that there ain't a God. Then the plane touched down in Austin, and as we both started walking, he said, you made me stop and think about the wonders of this life. There's as many as the stars up in the sky, like the way your heart beats in your chest. You take one breath and then the next, and this big blue ball spins in the sky. There's a reason that we all don't fly right off of it. And you can't see love, but you feel it. And the simple fact that you sat right next to me, oh, it wasn't love. Tell me that there ain't a God.
Yeah, man.
Right?
That's perfectly timed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pay you the highest compliment. Jeffrey, close your ears. I don't want you to hear this. That's a Jeffrey Steele type song.
It is.
And
It is.
I don't know if I could
Yeah.
give you any higher praise.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
That reminds me of, no, just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Greg Barnhill song, and it's fantastic. No reason, no wonder that others wanted it, but it is a Jeffrey Steele caliber song. To be honest with you, I think the lyrics are. I saw you enjoying, especially that one line that says, "There's a miracle sitting right next to you in 3A." I saw your face was like, "Oh, what a clever line."
Greg is just one of the best, man. He's a good man and
That's perfectly timed. That is.
sure is.
There's a revival going on with young people.
That's right.
And there's TJ Moe in the past couple of weeks. TJ works with me on Fearless. He turned me on to this Forrest Frank. Have y'all been listening to him? He's been crushing it. Some young kid. Your Way is Better. If
Your
you
Way is
haven't
Better.
heard it,
Yeah.
your kids have or young people have. He's got everybody singing this song about Jesus Christ and His way being better. They're dancing to it. It's doing well
Massive.
on the Billboard
Yes,
charts.
doing really good.
There's
It's a movement. It's
Yeah,
here.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, one of the largest attractions at CMA Fest that just happened, Brandon Lake.
Yeah.
yeah.
Brandon,
Brandon, he's
right.
the other
Brandon
guy
Lake,
that
there's a need and this desire for truth, and the Lord is the truth. I mean, literally, that's His name. And so, I think there's this longing for how crazy this world's gotten, and people are open to conversations like this song, because nothing about that song was beating you up or offensive. It was just like, hey man, if you just pay attention a little bit, God's all around you, and we need Him real bad.
Yeah, as the world gets crazier, it just becomes more and more clear. That's the one thing I enjoy about the wickedness. It's making people go, well, they couldn't be this wicked unless they were rebelling against the good.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
it's going back to CMA Fest. I don't know if there's a picture floating around on social media. Has been. It's like these riots in L.A. and people burning. And then there's a picture of, I think Jelly Roll was on stage, and there was a big cross, CMA in the stadium, at the CMA Fest in the stadium.
Yeah.
And there's like, this is Nashville, this is LA. And when I keep all these artists, from Jelly Roll to Morgan Wallen, everybody, and calling it riding a wave sounds negative, but I'd rather have them riding that wave and trying to tap into
It's
it
so beautiful.
than all of this other crap.
Yeah. I was going to say, too, I just think the more, and what we've seen the last 10 years of them just pushing this stuff on us, the more you push down the truth and the good, the great thing about the truth and the good is it just expands itself back out and comes up. It just comes back out of the ground. You can't stop it. You can't, and the more you try to squash it, the more it just finds its way back up. And I think that's part of what we're seeing culturally now. A lot of kids are going, man, I want something that feels like something real.
Yeah.
None of this stuff, all this scrolling, all this stuff that's not real. I want some real in my life.
Jelly Roll's story is so good. Where was
Oh,
he
it's
raised?
amazing.
Antioch, Tennessee. Morgan Wallen, where was he raised? He's from East Tennessee, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I think that this country upbringing has roots of the goodness of God that the rest of
It's
the world
real.
doesn't necessarily get. And,
Yeah.
And when you look at the nuts and bolts of country music is, hey, we're down home God-believing people.
Yeah.
And the world is taking notice of country music because they're starting to like the music, but then they're going, hey, what's this Southern charm thing that's got God in it that I
Yeah.
It's a real thing, and the moral to this whole conversation may be 1992, 93, 94, it wasn't the right time for you.
Yeah.
2025 may be the right time for your
Absolutely.
music.
Maybe. This is a song that hits me in my core. I didn't write it, but it's what I want to say to the world.
Yeah.
And it's the way I want to say it to the world. And I had one of my roommates on The Real World when we did a reunion 3 years ago, and we had this conversation. Man, have you ever thought about why you didn't make it in the 90s? I'm like, well, yeah, but I baptized about 300 people between then and now, so maybe that's part of the story. I don't know. I don't know the bigger picture.
Yeah, you can't second guess that stuff either. You're walking straight, and you're just going to the next thing, and that's what this whole thing's about. And everything you're doing is spilling off to other people and inspiring them too. And that's the biggest, most important thing of all of it, is that you're inspiring other people to do like-minded stuff. A quick Jelly Roll side note: he brought me into his jail program that he does. He goes in with the prisoners and writes songs with these kids that are on death row at 17 years old. And he brought me in this one day over by the stadium, by the juvenile center there where he served there. And he was nominated for Entertainer of the Year by the People's Choice Awards. And he was getting his award that night in L.A., and he stayed there all day with those kids. And I was there with them all day. And, and I was just going, this guy is the real deal. Yeah. And he's out, you're saying he's out there with that cross. He's the real deal. And keep pushing it, man, because they do want to hear it. Yeah. And it's up to us to just not be afraid to put it out there. Yeah. That's the biggest thing too. We're in a world now where they're trying to make us, be afraid to say it. We got this more than ever. We need to bring it and say it, and we need it. So bless you.
I'm speculating here. Obviously, you know better than I would. You know better than anybody this question I'm about to ask you. But was your voice where it is now when you were 18? No. Because you can sing.
He had some licks.
Yeah.
He had some licks.
And I'm just wondering if 18.
I was getting a little pissed off while he was singing.
If your voice was like that at 18.
No, and I've got a bunch of songs that I recorded, and they're older recordings now, but I'm releasing them as they're new because no one's ever heard them. So I'm putting them out there on on streaming as a new release, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, you should have resung that. That you sound better now."
Yes. Yeah.
No, I'm 50 years old. My voice it's got some growl to it that 18 little squeaky didn't have. Now I sang on pitch. And could they have sold 1 million records on me because of the MTV?
Sure,
yeah. I was singing as good as the others in the 90s, but my voice is... Because you know why? I didn't stop singing. I stopped singing country for a while, but I was singing in church every single week in 5 different states and 2 different countries. Mm-hmm. So I've been singing all these years. My voice is a lot stronger.
The songs you write, are they exploring the same themes as this song? Or the songs you write, what are they...
Yeah, I mean, they're all positive. I mean, I got told in the 90s they were pitching me a lot of songs, as they do when you're on a record label. Man, we can't pitch you anything. You won't sing about drinking. You won't sing about sleeping around. You won't sing about cussing. I'm like, yeah, because I don't do any of those things. Yeah. And so, the songs I have written or co-written with people, they don't necessarily have a theme in it like "Tell Me That There Ain't a God" does, because that's pretty bold. Hey, God's there. But I don't start songs with "Hey Girl." I don't start songs with "I came home drinking last night." I mean, they don't really have that material in it.
All right. Well, Jon, thank you so much for making time for us today. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
We followed it passively for 30 some odd years.
Yeah, have we ever?
Now to hear the details. And, you done baptized 300, 400 people all over the world, I would imagine. Yeah, you got a story.
The Nile River. I baptized people in the Nile River.
Wow.
So much, though, that it was like, okay, that was good. Next one. Okay, let's get out of here. There's hippos in here. More people die from hippos in Africa.
They bite. They're worse than anything else.
They will
there.
Stomp you. They're very territorial. But I'm legit. I've never baptized anyone in the United States where a hippo was a concern.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jon.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff, as always.
Oh, my pleasure.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bring your own guitar, old buddy. Bring your old guitar. We'll talk and drink and laugh and sing, but bring your own guitar.